So in this first lesson, we are going to be modeling an ant. And the first thing we are going to do is import our reference image. Of course, wherever you have the camera set, it's going to try to position the reference image as is, so we'll need to do a little bit of rotation here to fix this. So we're going to set it all to 0, so it's imported in flat. And next we are going to set the rotation to 90 degrees. And right now let's set the Z to 90. And we're going to change that here in a second, but first let's scale this up. And let's rotate the image negative 90 degrees. And we'll push the image to the back. That way we can still see our model. I'm going to scale this image up a little bit more. So now what we need to do is we are going to lower the opacity of the image. Let's give it a 0.35. So the goal for doing this here is we're going to make everything transparent. That way we can see what it is that we're modeling through the model itself. Let's just stretch this out real quick. And let's turn on transparency. So a majority of this, we are just going to be in edit mode, and make sure you have vertex turned on. And a lot of this is just going to be simple extrusions. And you're just going to be using the grab tool and scaling. So just take your time, follow along. And if you make any mistakes along the way, this is all still very low poly, so it's very simple to go back and fix. Scale this down so we can make the neck. And now we're going to start extruding for the head. And we're going to add an edge loop right here. So let's hit Control R. And let's place that right about there. Start adding some more and more edge loops here and there and everything so we can finish the blocking of this character. Next, we need to add an edge loop down the center. We're going to go into face mode, and we're going to select these faces here along this side. We're going to turn on X-ray, and we are going to scale down only on those faces there. We're going to select edge mode. We're going to pull this back a hair. And it's very important you understand what you're clicking on. Obviously made a mistake here, so if you just simply Control Z to undo that, we will select the correct edge. And we'll pull that just a hair. So we are just rounding off this this side here. All right, let's go back into vertex mode. I'm gonna reposition. I'm going to try to eyeball this and get this as close as possible. Next, we're going to change our view and we're going to delete half of our characters so we can add a mirror modifier. Make sure X-ray is turned on, and we're going to select half the character like this. And delete faces. So now we have half an ant here, and we're going to add another edge loop. We're going to bring that out a hair, that way we can start rounding off the sides of the body. So now while we're in object mode, we are going to go to the Modifier Properties panel. I'm going to select the little blue wrench. I'm going to select Add Modifier. And in the second column, you're going to select the Mirror Modifier. And that's going to complete the ant body on the other side. So normally when you do this, if you were to adjust those edges there, you can see that some weird things are happening. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn on clipping. So now we don't have to worry about the model separating. We want to make sure there are no seams at all. And the reason we're adding this mirror is so now we only have to model one half of the body, and the other side should be modeled automatically. So next we are going to apply a scale. That way Blender understands that this is how the model should be. And we'll just add a quick shade smooth. We're going to move these edges here. And now we are going to go back into modifiers and we are going to add a subdivision surface. And as you can see, that rounded off our model, made it a little more smooth. Let's turn up the viewport levels by 2. And we'll add another shade smooth there. So if we hit that on cage button there, now the wireframe matches the shade smooth we applied. So now we can go in and start rounding things off. Start trying to stretch this model here so it fits a little more closely to the original reference image here. Here we're going to add a small rotation here to try to get the tail end here of the ant to match that curve. And then we're going to add some edge loops here so we can fit a lot of those creases a little better. And now we are going to go over to this panel here and we are going to name the cube ant body. So now we can start focusing on the other parts. So in object mode, we're going to add another cube. Scale that down some. We'll move it right there, and this will be the first leg. We're going to go and add another mirror modifier to it. Start with the simple extrusion, scale it up a bit. Be messing with the edges here to really play with these segments. I'm going to select face mode. Going to extrude back out here. We're going to reposition this so this is the foot. Next thing we're going to do is go back into object mode. We're going to select the entire leg. We're going to hit Shift D to duplicate. I'm going to rotate that around. We'll do that one more time. Select this face and we will add a curve here and extrude into the body. to be doing the same to the rest of the legs. So let's select this entire leg here. We're just going to reposition that. We'll add a subdivision surface with a shade smooth. And now we're going to be adding in some edge loops here so we can really bring out the detail real quick. Alright, and that's about it for the legs there. So now for this last bit, we can go to mesh and add a UV sphere. And we're going to reposition this and quickly create some eyeballs for the ant. Let's scale this down. Let's bring this out some. We'll add a shade smooth. And next thing we're going to do is add another mirror modifier. Now we're going to make another cube. And these will be the antennas. So let's scale that down. Let's extrude this up and reposition. And we will add another mirror. Let's curve this in a bit, bring it down. Let's extrude that. And now we need to end the antenna with the little bulb. Add a subdivision surface. Go into vertex mode, make our selections. We're going to scale this up. Add in an edge loop. And we will use a shade smooth. And that about completes the modeling portion. And in the next video we will discuss about adding a rig.